Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm Heather Forgan of stampwithnellie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK. And this is a throwback to OnStage in Vienna in November 22. And this is a swap that I received. Those are the details there. And it opened like that and had a lovely tea bag in there. So for my Festive Fridays series of projects, I knew I wanted to do a fun fold card at some point. So today's the day. I have made it a little bit bigger. So this was 3.5 inch square. Mine's is 3 3/4 because I knew that I had some little envelopes that I wanted to decorate, and that's just reminded me I've not got another one out to do. However, I did make this pretty chunky and I was a little bit concerned that it might not fit in, but I'm glad that I made it 3 3/4 inches and not any bigger, because it just about goes in. Easier if I do it that way. All the bits. So yeah, it does just fit. Definitely a hand delivered card though, because there's no room to put anything in to protect it in the mail. So as with that one, belly band slides off. We've got some of this absolutely gorgeous Winter Meadow designer series paper, and I've gone to town. I've got it on there, I've got a little bit there. I've stamped using the Magical Meadow stamp set. May this season of sparkle bring joy and delight, and my winter wishes is from the same set on there. And this is from the coordinating die set. So there's lots of dies in here, but that's the one that I have used to cut these snowflakes and these little panels here. Okay, and then I always like to think about how to display a fancy fold card, and if somebody was going to set it up along that edge there, you do see quite a lot of that bit, so that's why I decided to decorate that bit. And then I've got a piece on the back that can have a little greeting on it as well, if you didn't want to write just names on there. Okay, so quite different, but very much inspired by the layout of that swap. And that's something that I do quite regularly when I kind of feel my inspiration is a little bit low. I will go and pick out an old swap and recreate it or completely transform it. Used the stamp set to just decorate the envelope as well. So this one is garden green, and I used blueberry bushel for that stamping there, garden green there, a wee bit of stamping on there as well. Okay, so I'm a little bit behind with challenges, and so the current creative colour challenges is Mossy Meadow, Pebbled Path and Misty Moonlight. So I'm going to make another one of them, and using the same designer series paper, but I've picked out this design, and that goes with Misty Moonlight card. So I need to incorporate the Mossy Meadow and the Pebbled Path at some point. So wish me luck with that. Right, so I've got a full sheet of A4 to start off with, but I do need to chop that down, and I have 1, 2, 3 of those, and I'm using another bit of the original design just because it's easier to stamp on that than on that. So I've got 4 pieces of designer series paper that are 3.5 inches by 3.5. Plus I've got 3 pieces of basic white card that are the same measurements. Okay, so it's a bit of a thirsty project, but you know, some cards are worth it. Some people are worth it. I'm going to cut this on the long side at 7.5 inches and turn it around and line that up again at 7.5 inches and cut that. Okay, and now I want to do some scoring, so I'm going to take that cutting blade out of the way, line that up at 3 3/4, so that's halfway, and give that a score. Turn it around, line it up again at 3 3/4, give that a score, and then turn it around and line up that corner with that track and do the same at the bottom there. Okay, and then score between those 2 points. Okay, so you're just scoring on that diagonal. That's us. Then fold along the score line that goes vertically and horizontally across. Okay, right, so this is how it will be. So I've got my score line there. I want to make that to come that way. Okay, so it's kind of difficult to see that, especially with this colour of card. But I'm making that score line come in the way. Okay, and I'm doing the same with this one. So I can put that flat down like that and then fold that over and give that a little burnish as well. Okay, so we've got my diagonals, but they come up the way like that. Hope that makes some sense. Okay, so when we close it, those two will fold in and it'll be like that. Easy peasy. Just give that a good old press. So as I say, this is the right way up. I'm gonna just simply pop a piece of designer series paper on there. Okay, and we're just making sure that we've got a kind of even distance around all 4 sides. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same with another bit, and it is just going to go on there. So doing the easy bits first, the nice easy squares. So I've got one foot on there, and then I've got this one that I am going to stamp before I put it on with this, and I'm going to go Mossy Meadow for this. Got to bring it in somehow. So May this season. Don't think my Mossy Meadow is very juicy by the looks of it. I think I might need to re-ink it. Right, do that. Just give that a moment because I don't think there's a huge amount of ink. Yes, perfect, that'll do. So that one is gonna go, put that out of the way, and we'll close it in a moment on there, like so. Okay, right, close that ink pad and bring back my trimmer, because we now need to cut the 2 pieces that go there. Okay, and I want to cut that one as well. So let me get my trimmer, and it is just exactly the same as what we did before with lining up those points in the center of that cutting track. Okay. And take that out of the way because I do want to cut it this time. Okay, so that's one. And two. But I want to die cut those 4 pieces with that snowflake die. But I do also want to have this bit on here. I'm just deciding which direction that wants to go. I think I do want it that way. So I'm going to cut from there to there. If you don't have a directional paper, it makes life so much easier. But hey. That one's going to go on there and there, so that, no, that's the wrong bit, Heather. If I do that, it's going to go, that bit's going to go on there, and that bit's going to go up there. Right. Phew, that was close. Right, let me glue these bits on. I want to make sure I've got glue right to the corner. And this time I'm keeping a gap on the 2 outside edges, but I'm going quite close to that score line. And do the same on this one. As I say, this is just a little extra. Not entirely necessary. But sometimes it's these little touches that make the difference, eh? Okay, so now if someone was to display that card with the card front at the front, then yeah, you're going to see quite a bit of that. So it's covered. Okay, so next bit, just to do those panels there. I have my mini cut and emboss, is fine for this. And just pop that on wherever you want it. There we go. And put that through. One done. There we are. Quite cute, isn't it? So I just need to do those other 3. So I'll probably fast forward this. Okay, so got those 4 die cut, and just simply a case of gluing them in place. Again, kind of want to make sure your glue goes fairly close to the corner, and again quite close to that score line, and leaving a gap around the outer edges. Again, this is just an extra little touch, not necessary at all, but I hadn't played with that die yet, so it was a good excuse. Just got a bit of glue on there. Same again on this one. Close to, but not on top of the score line. And it does, as I said earlier, it does make it a little bit chunky, but that's fine by me. I'm a little bit chunky too. Right. I had glue somewhere there, but not feeling it now. Might have just been on my finger. Right, so that's the inside done and that bit done. We just need to do a little bit of stamping on here. And then I'll need to make my belly band as well and stamp my envelope. So, Mossy Meadow. Let us see. Right, so if I just simply ink that up and stamp it. Yeah, Mossy Meadow definitely needs a wee re-ink. That'll do. And I can do a little pebbled path, I think. A little pebbled path on here. Gotta get it in somehow. I'm going to do the sentiment on the front with pebbled path as well. There we go. So we've got our envelope stamped, ready to go. And oh, I'll do pebbled path on this as well. Do I? Yeah, I've used green there. It's fine. Oh, that's a bit dark. It's fine. Very juicy ink pad. And that wants to go on there. So we're going in all different directions. Just double check that. On the back of that. Like that. Yeah, I was right. I was right. Always pays to double check though, eh? One goes on there. Superb. Right, belly band. So this was the piece, or one of the pieces of card that I chopped off earlier. So we need to make a belly band with that. I also want to stamp the Winter Wishes with pebbled path before I put that ink pad away. Right, that's that. And this is the new Heartfelt Hexagon punch. And I'm just lining that up. Okay. On my original, I made my belly band 1.25 inches. I'm going to take it down to just 1 inch. So this was the full width of my A4 sheet. So 8 and what does it come at? 8 1/4. 5-ish by 1 inch. Nearly there. I want to add a little bit of stamping on with this, so I'm going to go Mossy Meadow on here. There we are. Lovely. And I had stamped the belly band, but I wasn't entirely happy with that. Right, so belly band. Start it roughly in the middle, just slightly over, then gently bend it around. Make sure you're not going too tight. I've got a little bit of a gap. Hopefully you can see that in there. Okay. A little bit of glue on that side. A little bit of glue on the underside of that side. And then we make sure that both ends of it are stuck down. And I'm not pulling that tight. It's still got a little bit of give there. So do I stamp that? I think I need to clean that stamp. And I'll do it tone on tone. So just giving that a little bit of a burnish. Okay, and then right along the back. Yeah, I'll do. Okay, so I have got plenty of Misty Moonlight. I've got a little bit of Pebbled Path. Just to get that back on there. And some Mossy Meadow, although it kind of looks very second generation. Don't know how, because that's an ink pad I very rarely use. There we go. That's that stuck along the centre of that. And I'm going to put in a little bit extra Pebbled Path. So on this one I used, what were they called? What were they called? I used the Faceted Gems Trio pack. And for this I'm going to bring in that little bit more Pebbled Path with these in colour dots. So I've got I'm going to put one on there, and if I can get it to go, larger one on there, and on there as well. There we go. So let me just tidy this up, take that grubbiness away, and show you both of the cards using the Winter Meadow suite. Opens like that, and we've got that extra panel there and a little bit there as well. So I've got my Misty Moonlight, Pebbled Path, Mossy Meadow, Pebbled Path, Mossy Meadow, Misty Moonlight. So that's that one, and then my original one, using one of the bolder designs with garden green and a blueberry bushel. And there we have. I do hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please do click on the subscribe button. There'll be a link to my blog post with all of the description, all of the measurements for both of these cards, and links to the products in my online shop, and also a link to the Creative Colour challenges, so that even if you don't want to take part this time with these 3 colours, then you'll check it out and hopefully join in sometime soon. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next time, take care. Bye bye.